Hello, everybody. Doing another tier list. Except this time it's about Guts and Black Powder. Here with professional Guts and Black Powder player Merc Dumb, also known as Karmic Annihilation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what class do we want to start with? Line infantry, officer, or seaman?
Oh, well, I mean, I'm just gonna probably doing what's ordered by. So the first thing is the musket.
The musket, it's basically everything the rifle wants to be because
Yeah.
it does less damage, but at the same time, though, everything else is better.
Yeah.
It reloads faster, it's got good penetration, good distance, accuracy, everything, and it has a bayonet, which when you
Yep.
combine it with an officer charge or the hold fast ability, you basically kill everything in the game in one shot except for the
Yeah.
Headless Horseman, which that's a Halloween exclusive, and
And he's a
immune to
boss.
bayonet charges anyways.
Yeah, he's a boss, so it's like.
Wait until they add Santa Claus to the boss.
So, my current ranking for the musket is S tier. I mean, I don't even have to
Yep.
explain that. It's the musket. It does
Yeah.
everything you need it to, and it will never falter.
All right. Now I'm gonna talk now what I think it is about it. See, I'm not gonna talk about the rifle because I'll talk about it. I'll talk about my devices for when I get to it. But I love this weapon. It's just a good weapon. Like the fact that it's free is also gonna be definitely held to its favor as well. Like you just get it for free. Like. And there's a reason they give it to you for free because it's arguably the best starting like main primary gun of all the classes get. Like it's just all around just good. Like as long as you know how to use the bayonet. Because there's some idiots that actually don't. Like it says so on the screen, the toggle bayonet. And basically, when you're using the bayonet, there's really not much of a reason to ever use your secondary weapon because the bayonet is just such a good melee weapon that like you really don't need to most of the time, unless you like really need to hit more than one zombie at a time. But like it literally like it might as well have pinpoint accuracy. Has basically might as well be infinite range. Does enough damage that will one shot literally basically anything with a headshot except the Cuirassier. Zerasier.
And the zapper.
Yeah,
But that depends on how far you are in the game, because it can one-shot a zapper early on, but when you get to like mid to late objective or endless, it can't one-shot anymore.
Yep. So, overall, I think it's S tier as well. Alright, next, the Saber.
The Saber. From its former glory early on, where it could 2 to even one-shot zombies, it was good, but even now it's great. It can one-shot runners still, thank God. Decent swing rate. Can hit multiple enemies, which is always nice. Good during charges. There's really nothing to complain about with the Saber. Whatever complaints that you can have with the Saber, you should just not say them, because whatever you're going to say will most likely be related to something that is damage, which it does enough.
Yeah.
All you need is just like a bugler or headshots and you're fine. So I'd honestly put in a solid A tier.
Yeah.
Great for what you're getting.
I think it was S tier before it got nerfed. I completely agree. I think S tier before it got nerfed because I always thought that there was no point really using the hand axe because that's 10 damage, but like you sacrifice so much, for 10 damage. But now that's 15. That makes a big difference. 5 damage is a lot in this game. 5 damage could be the difference between you one-shotting zombies 100% of the time and not. In the boarding axis case, which we'll get to that later. Yeah, I think it's great. There's nothing really to complain about. Alright. Regular flintlock pistol, Merc.
Wait, are we not doing the side grids?
It's just that it's ordered weirdly. Like it goes over like the main weapons of each class and then the side grids.
Okay. Flintlock pistol. It is the default weapon for the officer. It does 85 damage, reloads really quickly, has and decent penetration and has mediocre accuracy and can
Yeah.
at least hit things at the back in catacombs, although not consistently.
Yep.
It's good for what you're getting, but at the same time, though, it kind of lacks. It would be good if it had something like a pistol whip or something,
Yeah.
because it was actually pretty consistent that officers, if they were cornered and they didn't have time to reload, they just flip the thing around and slap them with the handle of the pistol.
Yeah.
Basically, all Napoleonic views of the pistol allow you to do that. But other than that, though, the pistol's good. It does what it's supposed to. It can one-shot shamblers and runners and bombers, nighters, but it struggles against tankier enemies like the Cuirassier or the Zapper.
Yeah.
So I'd put in a solid A tier.
Oh,
Leaves some to be desired.
A. Um. So I think the weapon, like compared to definitely other guns, like the other classes that have guns, officer is intentionally held back with his gun variety on purpose because, as it specifically says in the description for the officer class, your secondary is your real primary, and that's mostly because of the fact that you kind of use your secondary to build up charge. You know, so like, and yeah, it's the fastest reloading gun in the game by a couple milliseconds. Well, not so like that's going in its favor. Overall, I like it, like as a gun, but like it does leave something to be desired. I put it in B tier. So like, yeah, I don't know where to put it here. Just act like it's like somewhere around here. All right, Merc Blunderbuss.
Ah, yes, the blunderbuss. Here to make you feel like you're Captain Jack Sparrow, except instead of you shooting random pirates, you are shredding people that are a darker color than you, whereas this been seen before. But basically, what you're doing is you're turning a musket into a musket with a wider barrel, no bayonet, and shoots a bunch of pellets. Not saying that's a bad thing, though. It has 15 pellets, 30 damage per pellet, and reloads a decently fast rate with good penetration. Distance ain't the best, but it makes up for that with how many pellets it has, that its accuracy is good. As long as you aim for center mass, you'll hit, almost guaranteed to hit
Yeah,
at least one. And for what you're getting as a default weapon, the blunderbuss kind of stumps the rest of the seaman items because the knock gun's good if you have a Pfeiffer or you know how to reload cancel. And the Navy pistol's decent if you're not really able to rely on your teammates for crowd control. At the same time, though, it has really bad penetration, so it's kind of reliant that you're not going through big hordes. So I definitely put the blunderbuss in S tier because, similar to the musket, it's the sole definition of the class. Crowd control, high damage, no gimmick, does whatever you need it to, and it's always going to be consistent about it.
yep. See now, as much as I do like gimmicky guns, there really does need to be guns like the musket and blunderbuss that just don't have a gimmick and are just straight up reliable. You know, because like a gimmick, if you have a gimmick gun, it can either be really good or really bad, or the gimmick is so good and bad at the same time that it kind of leaves a tear in the middle. You know?
Yeah, which the community usually decides on that
Yeah,
metaphorical tear.
yeah,
There's some pretty bad hot takes, I'll tell you that now.
yeah. Um, with the blunderbuss, like it's just so reliable. Like, like this thing has almost never failed me. You know, and I don't even own the other guns with the Seaman because I really just don't need them. Like, because I have other things to spend my francs on. You know, even though Merc over here has everything in the game. Unlike me, I don't.
Yep. Regiments, badges, cosmetics, all that.
Yep, everything.
I literally bought the air rifle just for a completionist bonus. That's literally it. I don't even use the thing.
Yeah, because honestly, to use that thing, you need to fucking throw around francs like they're candy. Like, let's just be real here. It's literally made for people that have like 100,000 francs, and that's it. It's literally made for no one else. But the blunderbuss, like, yeah, as Merc said, you'll hit one shot. People don't realize just how good it is against bombers. There's a reason why they use shotguns when you're when you're hunting like birds, like duck hunting, because one of the shots will hit them, one of the pellets will hit them. That's the same thing. As long as you aim in their general direction, they're usually gonna die. And has enough penetration that if a dickhead gets in the way, it won't matter. It'll still hit the guy behind him anyway, which is usually hopefully the bomber. You know, it's really like not the best at killing more than like 5 zombies like in one shot, unless they really line up good or it's a really tight corridor. But if you can get a really good shot, you'll feel like you're using a shotgun with how many zombies will blow away to fucking heaven. Well, back to hell, more like actually. Yeah, it's good. This is one of the kings of endless because like it's just like insane like game. Here's the thing: because if you stuff this thing into a cuirassier's face, he's gonna die in one shot. Like as long as all the pellets hit him. Just good gun. RE40. Nah. Yeet. Merc. Sapper's axe.
Sapper's axe. Oh, the Sapper's axe. Does the damage of the pickaxe and has the viability of the spade. It is a 85 damage, 3 penetration, decent distance, and high headshot multiplier having weapon. It will always do one-shots to shamblers, viral runners, and igniters. And it's always going to be consistently viable for just hanging back or frontlining, depending on what you do. Not to mention, just like the pickaxe, it has a shove ability, and not only can you stun the zombies coming close to you, but if you're getting really uptight and personal when it comes to a zapper, you can preload the shove and parry the zapper so it's stunned, then you can counter them with a headshot using your upswing or left and right swing. It's reliable, and I don't really have any issues with the Sapper's Axe. It's basically unable to be called a bad weapon. I mean, I don't think anybody else will get a weapon this consistent when it comes to melee apart from the Saber.
Yeah.
So I'll put it in S tier.
I do agree. It's S tier. I have a problem with it though, and that's just like that's not really a thing. I just don't like slow weapons that like swing slowly. But honestly, like that's not really a complaint I have with the weapons. Now, I do complain I do have with the weapon. I still think it's S tier. But one complaint I do have is that it lacks range, like the range the other two have. Although I do think that it's probably the best sapper weapon ever since the pickaxe got fucking annihilated. Like, do you remember that nerf, Merc? Remember where they over nerfed
I
it,
remember.
and they nerfed the build speed if you're using it, and they also made it so you can only hit one guy, and they rebuffed it and they reverted the build speed change because that was just insane. That made it basically useless. Like,
Yeah, they actually removed the building debuff from the pickaxe and put it on the siege armor instead.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, also, I think the pickaxe didn't need a nerf because let's just be real here. It was probably it was such a stupid melee weapon on fucking Sapper. Like that damage, especially on endless against zappers, you could basically one shot anything. Like especially with the headshot multiplier, like it was such an insane weapon. Like also the shove ability is so good because you can shove way more. You can shove so many zombies. You can shove like 10 guys back at once, and just like buying those couple seconds really matters, you know. But like this weapon is literally made. It's not really good when you're on the move, but it's literally made for if you can camp behind your defenses in swinging range, but not while being protected by your defenses to not get hit in the face by the zombies, which is what Sapper does, which is why he's given a weapon perfectly suited for that role. It's S tier. If it was on any other class, it'd not be that great, but because it's on him, it's good. Armor carbine.
Okay, the carbine. It is, hey, do you want to use the officer's pistol, but it does good damage, has more range and penetration, and you can bitch slap zombies when they get a bit too touchy with you?
Yep.
Introducing the carbine. I'd say it's a pretty decent option, especially when it comes to trying to clutch an endless. It does enough damage to hold up, and it doesn't make you move slower while you're aiming or reloading. Then, if you're getting too cornered and can't kill that one runner that's coming over, you stun, pull out your weapon, stab, kill the runner, and keep moving. Great for whenever you're in a pinch and you know that one zombie's gonna grab you, so you shove, stun them, get out of there. I'd say it's an A tier weapon. Only hang up it has is, and I kid you not, could use like a little bit more penetration. But other than that, though, it's good.
Yeah, this is
If it
my
had like
personal.
6 penetration, it'd be dandy.
This is my personal favorite weapon in the game, actually. I agree, it's A tier. I think it's worse than the musket, but I like it more than the musket because I just love that shove ability. Like, honestly, with the shove ability, like, as long as you have one carbineer, sometimes it's better for him to literally just be up front just shoving the zombies instead of, like, pulling out a saber and attacking them, especially on Endless, because, like, on Endless, especially later on, the saber just doesn't do shit to these guys. Like, it takes, like, 4 or 5 hits, and it's just, like, so like just making the zombies stop moving for the guys that will actually do damage, like sappers, to whack them over the head more, before they continue to break the defenses is just so good, you know. Reload super. This is probably the best like bomber killer weapon, like in the game besides the blunderbuss and navy pistol. Like it's just consistent and reliable. Also, it did get a little small buff where it got its range buffed, which I mean, like it mattered. They also buffed the musket with that same buff, but the like it matters a lot more with the carbine because the carbine had way less range than the musket. Still enough to be good, but like still less. Yeah, I think ever since they added the shove ability on this, it's gotten close. It's gotten on the verge of being like up here in S tier. Anyway, I'm hand expert.
Hand axe. Oh, baby, the hand axe. I love that thing because it actually can one-shot shamblers, unlike the normal saber.
Yep.
Only hang up is that it's a little bit shorter, but that's not going to stop you from just using downswing on runners. It's basically impossible to screw that up. It's basically, hey, I got a saber that, albeit it's shorter, it kills basically everything without much of a problem. It
Yeah.
basically never fails me unless I am very desperate. So I'd put it in an S tier.
Yep. See now, I do agree. The one thing that this weapon can't really do is if you're about to get molested by a viral runner. I mean, you can still obviously kill him, but you have a less chance of killing him than you do with a saber because both the weapons do hit him. That's the only downside, but it's not really much of a downside because if you're in a 1v1 against a viral runner, chances are you're probably about to get molested. Unless you can find some way to like get him stuck on a corner and you can start harassing him. You know. Also it does less damage against zappers, but like that just doesn't matter because you can just fucking pull out your gun and shoot them because the classes that this weapon is on are on classes that have really strong guns that one shot zappers, so like who cares? Like literally who cares? Double barrel pistol. Can I speak on this one first, Mark? Because I
Sure.
probably use this gun the most out of all of us. And it's a damn shame that I really don't think. I mean, it's usable, but like, I've switched over. I think it's the worst officer gun. Like, honestly, I think it's worse than regular pistol. It's worse than the brass pistol that we'll get to later. I just like they nerfed this thing so many times. Like, it used to be so great. It used to be S tier, and then it's just nerf, nerf, nerf. It's just like they just really destroyed its little place it had as being so good. I mean, like it's still
Also used to be
definitely
a lot more
useful.
Franks.
Yeah, it used to be 2,500 originally, most expensive item at that time. Um, Honestly, like I think it's useful still sometimes, but I think it's the last officer thing you should buy. Because like its main advantage is the double shot, which is really only good at killing like cuirassiers, which is a new thing, which adds it used to. But before that, it was really good at killing like zappers, or if you want to try and like waste 2 shots to try and hit the bomber, that's all the way in the back. But, like honestly, you're trying to snipe bombers with this thing on long range. What are you doing? This thing has like the highest spread in the game. Of all like the like normal or like non-shotgun weapons. Like the real time's just too long for what it's worth for the less damage as well. It's just like, especially on the endless, it becomes unreliable very quickly with its damage, penetration, spread. It's just C tier. Primer, you speak on it.
Honestly, I agree with everything you said. Same thing.
Like, literally. Even after the first nerf, it was still debatably S tier. But then after the next nerf is just fallen so far. Like, it's not even like the nerfs were really that big. It's just like 3 nerfs in a row. I'm pretty sure it's 3. Might be 2, but still, like that hurts a lot. Especially in this game where balancing is so fragile with weapons. Like one small buff can make a weapon insane, and one small nerf can make a weapon not very great. So all it takes is nerfing of like a certain weapon's damage by 5, and all of a sudden it can't one shot a zombie, and now it's not good. Like imagine if the hand axe did 40 damage. Would anyone use it? No, it'd be fucking trash. Merc. Like
Yeah.
that's really all it takes. Like you may think that's a small nerf, but it's really just not. Like it's delicate. And the double barrel pistol, it was they pushed the glass off the table and it shattered. Merc knock gun.
Knock gun. Hey, do you like the accuracy of the musket, but also want to shoot things with the same amount of crowd control as the blunderbuss? Introducing the knock gun. It's like duct taping 7 rifle barrels together and jamming rounds into them until eventually something funny happens. Really good for choke points like Tyrol and the runner part on Leipzig, stuff like that. It sees a lot of use in La Haye Saint and Vardahus for the dock part. Only issue is that its reload is so goddamn long. It basically requires you to either reload cancel or have a fight for it to be useful. But even one shot can kill, like, let me look,
It does
10
225
enemies
damage.
at
I
the
know
same
250
time.
damage. I think.
Yeah, it does 250 damage and can kill 10 zombies at the same time. It's great, honestly.
Yeah.
It just requires you to play a bit in the back because if you're reloading that thing, you're going to move really slow. But the only thing that keeps this gun afloat is the fact that it can kill all zombies in one shot, including the cuirassier if you headshot,
Yeah.
because it can penetrate their armor.
Actually, I think you can one
So,
shot body shot because the rifle, if you hit him in the body, then like they die in one heavy saber stab. And since this thing does so much more damage, I think it's a one shot
no,
body
it has
shot.
less penetration than the rifle,
Oh,
but it
that's true.
does enough damage to
That's true.
still kill them in one shot if you headshot, I believe.
It might one shot body shot.
Not sure though.
We need to test one. We need to test it definitely one shot headshots. I know that because we tested it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if one shot body shots because we did not test that. Me and Hurricane. Where do you think it goes?
I would put it in A tier.
Yeah, same shit. 3.
Does good damage and really good crowd control. Great for choke points. It just reloads slow. Like by the time that it reloads, I could have gotten 3 kids in college.
Yeah, I mean honestly, this thing
Unless
is
you
the
reload
king.
cancel.
Yeah, this thing is the king of endless. Like it's probably one of the better endless guns because the damage won't fall off until like forever. Like to what, like wave like 40, 50 is when it starts falling off in damage. Merc.
Yeah.
Like it's so rare to get past even just 30 sometimes, especially on some maps. Like, but like on Tyrolean Village, if you're trying to get wave 35, you basically have to have 3 guys with knock guns in the back just spamming them because like it's like they'll rack up such a high kill count. Like this is honestly as much of a support gun as it is a damaging gun, because honestly, whenever this thing fires, literally everything in the area just gets blasted away. Like, and that could be used as support because you could just save teammates. Like if a teammate's getting grabbed by like 30 zombies, literally any other gun would be like, oh, I can't save them. Oh, you see now, but I got this thing, this stupid thing that they ripped straight out of Black Wake, by the way. Just wanted to point that out. Such a dumb weapon, but yeah, A tier, I think. Lance Merc.
Huh?
Lance.
Oh, talk about the lance now?
Yep.
Lance, do you like the musket for only its bayonet? Do you want to really commit to the gimmick of social distancing? Because fuck 'em, that's why. Introducing the lance. 5 less damage, more penetration, swings a bit faster, and does more damage on charge. It does 5 times damage instead of 3 times like the bayonet. And, not to mention, the more zombies you kill in a hit, the more penetration you do, up to 5 zombies. So, if that doesn't tell you what you need to know, I don't know what does. That, and if you're on San Sebastian at the wheel part, if you stand at the right angle, you can kill the zombies right as they spawn. The second their spawn protection's off, hit them with an up hit, and hit them in the head, dead. Nothing left. So, very good. Only issue is that you don't have a firearm. So it's kind of required that you use the cuirassier armor, so that way you can effectively kill bombers without meeting God. So, I definitely put it in a S tier.
Yeah.
Longest range melee in the game. It does good damage.
Yeah.
Not much to complain about.
Yeah. I think before they added the cuirassier, it was A tier. But like it's just it's the best beneficiary of cuirassier armor, you know, because like the ammo. No, not unlimited ammo. Who cares? You don't have a gun. Oh, you walk over cuirassier armor. Who cares? This thing's walk speed reduction negates the cuirassier's walk speed reduction. You know. So you basically get almost all the benefits of the cuirassier armor with none of the downsides. You know, except the like fire. You take more damage from fire. You know, that's basically the only downside that this thing still has to deal with when you're using cuirassier armor with it. But like other than that, it's just so good with it. You know, you're just a walking tank that has a big schlong. Just go poke people, poke with your BBC. Well, I mean, it's not really BBC, but that's the point. It's just good. Oh yeah, here's not in order, by the way. So
What's up?
I was talking to viewers. Yeah, Lance is my second favorite weapon in the game. This is another weapon that I used to use all the time. Yeah, back then, really liked it. Like it too now. Alright, yo, Merc the steak. Yo, let me speak on this one first since I use priest all the time. This weapon.
I saw this thing in my mom's room one time.
Yo. I saw in the mom's room one time the meat. But we'll get to the meat in just a second. Anyway, like, what's the steak?
We're not doing delicious meat since it's obvious what's gonna be put in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Bro, you actually got me off guard by saying that. Oh my god.
Yeah, you're smacking zombies with your meat. What's better than that?
Oh, come on. Not again with this, bro. Yeah, I'll be back in a second.
What?
I'm bleeding again.
Many gamers may be unfamiliar with my game, but one thing I know is that I do be in fact gaming.
problem has been solved. I hate this humid weather now because like it's making my nose bleed all the time. It's so annoying.
My brother
Anyway,
has the same issue. He gets nosebleeds like a leaky faucet.
anyway, with the stake, like it's the worst normal weapon of any class. It's meant that on purpose, you know, like it's meant to be like that on purpose, cause like it's just eh. Like, you know, I can't even one-shot a runner, has dog shit range, bad penetration. Like, it's literally the bare minimum for self-defense. You know, Merc, like, that's literally just what it is
Oh
when it
yeah,
comes to
brother.
Priest. Is it usable? Yeah. All the weapons are, except the chopped meat. Um, well, yeah, it's probably only D tier, like, realistically. I'm not really seeing a lot anything else that would be in D tier. Anyway, next Merc is the pickaxe. Have fun.
Ah, the pickaxe. Basically the sapper's axe, but less range, faster speed,
I
does
thought it had
more
more. No, it
damage.
has more
It's
range.
fun and all,
Pickaxe
but
has
the
more
thing is,
range.
no, the pickaxe has less.
I thought, well, they nerfed that range. It originally had more.
It never had more
Yeah,
range.
yeah, it did. It had like 1.15 times as much range.
It has 8 max distance. Apparently it has more range, even though it doesn't.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought it had more range. It well, but originally it had more
I'm
range. Okay,
confused.
originally
I
it
know they
had more
did this.
range. Originally it had more range. That's all I'm gonna say. You know. Now I don't know what they did to it. Whether they made its range not good
Uh,
anymore, but
Listen,
originally
let
it
me
had more range.
basically one-shot cuirassiers do more damage, slightly worse than the axe in my opinion, but
Yeah.
they'll also be in the high tier. So I'm gonna put it in A tier because I don't use
Yeah.
the pickaxe. It's just not my style.
You know, OG pickaxe, let's just be real here. Back when it first came out with the 2
Axe was still
penetration.
better.
Really? You think so? Back when
Yeah,
this thing had
it was
well,
consistent.
oh no, this thing was dumb. Back when it had literally one less penetration and also had more range.
Yeah, but
Well, still,
it's
I think it still has
opinionated.
more range, but yeah, this thing's gotten nerfed a lot. Not as bad as double barrel pistol. Let's be real here. Double barrel pistol got crucified compared to this thing's nerfs. You know, this thing got crucified as well though. When that first nerf, the first batch of nerfs came in with the build speed nerf 2. This thing was as bad as the steak. But yeah, no, I
Peter,
think it's more
Peter, the
balanced.
Nerf wave is here, Peter. Hide your double barrel pistol, Peter.
I'm not happy about that because that was like my favorite officer weapon. So like that of all the people in the group that those nerfs really made not happy. I'm probably really did not appreciate that. Yo, heavy saber. Let me talk about this one because I used it a lot. Yeah, I think it's S tier. Why do I think it's S tier? Well, specifically because like right now that they added the Cuirassier, the Zerasier, like if you're dueling him and you're dueling him with like a melee weapon that doesn't have a lot of range, if you go in and hit him, you're probably gonna get hit back unless you parry him. But with this thing, you have enough range that you can outrange him. You know, like it really makes him so much less of a problem. It's actually amazing. You know, and as long as you know how to flick with it, like you like the not being able to slash part is great. Like it basically doesn't even matter. Yeah, but like if you see anyone trying to slash enemies with this weapon, you should tell them off. I mean, you should tell them, hey, bro, that's not a good idea. Because I don't know why you'd ever do that. You know, like it's good with a lot of weapons, like online infantry. It's only good. It's only usable online infantry, unfortunately. Because imagine if this thing could be used on officer class. Just imagine. So yeah, I mean, honestly, that's probably I think that could be debatable if it's S or A tier. Originally, my opinion when this thing first came out, my opinion of it was not very high. Not gonna lie.
Oh, Killer, I'm gonna say something that's going to knock your rating down a lot. They made it swing even slower, and it no longer can one-shot, or it can no longer two-shot headshot zombies.
Thank you for telling me that. It is now A tier. I was
Yeah, it's
not aware of this.
0.7 seconds instead of 0.6,
I was
and it does
not aware.
38 damage instead of like 40 something.
I was not aware of this because I have not used a heavy saber since the new update came out. Because I basically have not been playing like as line infantry. I've basically
Yeah,
just
they
been
also
playing
nerfed his
officer.
charge ability, I believe.
Oh my god, bro. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna
Yeah, it got nerfed pretty bad.
for now I'm just gonna put it in B tier. That's a shame. That just when my opinion of it was like greatly increasing, all of a sudden it's back. Bro, come on.
Honestly, I never felt like the heavy saber was that great. I've always been a hand axe or saber user.
Literally.
I don't really like it.
But like Merc, like my opinion of it, my opinion was not very high of it, like basically ever. And I did not really like it, but it was like just starting to really go up, I was like, oh, this is not really not that bad. It's actually pretty great. Oh yeah, nah, bro, can't have nice things. Rifle, D tier. That's just
Why
here.
they nerfed the heavy saber?
Yeah, they made it swing slower and it only 3 shots instead of 2-shot headshots.
I mean, honestly,
now.
it kind of started
Okay,
deserving.
why?
It kind of started deserving
Because
nerf.
it was a bit too overpowered.
Yeah, it kind of started deserving the nerf, like since the new update. But like, come on, it just got its chance to shine the spotlight more than like it did before. I mean, it kind of did, especially in professional play, because this thing, if you were like in professional hands, like with it, when you flick like a god with this thing, it was a monster. You know.
You know what my opinion's going to be on it? D tier. Reason? Fuck that thing.
Yeah, let's be real here. The rifle fucking sucks. It's like
If I'm
it's usable.
Oh, I'm talking about the heavy saber at the
Oh.
moment because I didn't really get my chance to talk about it.
I didn't get my rocks off, is what you're saying.
Anyways, so rifle. Personally, I think it's pretty decent. Sure, it's a little bit harder to use than the musket, but in consideration, it's going to get a bayonet attachment soon, I believe, because there was a sneak peek about it being able to use the sword bayonet, which that's been a thing for a while, but now that the devs have actually brought it up in sneak peeks, that means it's most likely going to get a bayonet soon that'll cost money for you to use. And that honestly would probably bump it up from a C tier to a B to low A tier, because it needs a Pfeiffer to be a bit more bearable, but really long range, really high penetration, really high damage. Reload's a bit slow, but you know what it does that makes that forgivable. It has a special thing called armor penetration. See, if you headshot a cuirassier, they drop like flies, even if you hit their helmet. And if you hit their body, the delicious meat could one-shot them.
Yep.
It leaves them at a solid 5 HP, so... Yeah, the rifle is kind of a necessity if you want to deal with cuirassiers efficiently, unless you're using tar bottle, because from what I'm aware, cuirassiers do actually take more damage from fire. So if you have tar bottles, make use of it. But if you don't, rifle should be your best friend, because it makes the cuirassier wave in St. Petersburg a fucking joke if you have a few rifles.
I use the rifle a lot more now, just to pop a cuirassier in the face. Before cuirassiers came out, I think it was D tier, because there just wasn't a need for it, Merc. Like,
I felt like it was C tier before cuirassiers came out, because it can kill zappers in one shot no matter what wave, as long as it's a headshot.
Yeah, but I always thought like why would it was really very not many benefits over the musket, because the musket already really had what you need. But now they added the cuirassier, they really made it have a purpose now. So I think it's better. I actually think it's better than double barrel pistol in C tier right now. I actually think that. I'm just gonna say that. I really don't like it though. None of the rest of the I'm just gonna say that. I'm
gonna be honest, my opinion of the heavy saber is probably gonna ruffle some feathers, so let me be direct with you now. I don't care about your feelings. If you have a problem with me, I'll give you my Discord and I will bitch at you for talking about it.
Honestly,
I do not care.
I need to use the heavy saber now that they got nerfed, just so I can really get an accurate feeling of how good it is now. You know, because I haven't used it not once since the new update.
Yeah,
So I didn't even
but
know it got nerfed.
it got nerfed pretty bad.
I
But
didn't even know.
reason why I'm talking so much about the heavy saber is because every time when it's someone talking about the heavy saber, they praise gospel about it, and the second they realize that they can't and one-shot runners with its side swing, or it gets brought up, they're like, because they don't have a response to it. They
Yeah.
know that they're only crippled to a really, really finicky upswing or a semi-decent downswing. But you have to do all this extra stuff to get consistent headshots when with something like the hand axe or saber, you just gotta lift your screen up and side swing it, or jump while you're down swinging it, and you'll do heavy saber damage easily. It is not that difficult to just not use the heavy saber, because it is too slow for me to want to use it.
No, yeah, because I
Anyways,
was one. I
next.
feel like,
Yeah, that
yeah,
shit's
me too. Because I always felt like I was one of the only people that used it that didn't like always praise it. You know, because Mark, you've heard some of the things I've said about it before. I've never like my opinion only just recently started to increase a bit. You know, I'm actually gonna make a new tier called unranked because I don't know where it would go because I have not used it since it got changed, and you don't use it in general, so I'm probably the only person that's gonna like use it to really
I use
keep
the
where it's gonna
heavy
go.
saber sometimes, but I
Yeah,
usually stick with the hand axe.
yeah, and
More reliable.
I'm like the only person in the group that actually uses the damn thing because I bought it with my 500 francs. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get my use out of it.
I just realized in the lobby I'm in, my team just died within like the first 3 minutes of Wave 1 St. Petersburg.
Are you
They didn't even
fucking
let the
kidding?
music of it starting end before they already died.
What? Yo, that's insane.
This is some wild action right here.
That's insane. That's actually outrageous. And you went horse artillery rifle, Mark. Have fun.
Horse artillery rifle or pistol, whatever.
Yeah. I
Okay.
think it's pistol. Yeah, I think it's
This
called
is where
pistol.
it kind of gets to one of those times where it's a crossroad, because it's like, it's good. I mean, it does. Let me take a gander here. It does a little bit less than the carbine and reloads a little bit faster than the rifle. Has two barrels, but it has pretty mediocre spread control. I mean, it's good and all that. I mean, it's like, hey, I want to have decent accuracy as line infantry while also being able to shoot two bombers. Reason? Because every time I get at the ability to shoot them, a zombie blocks it, and I can't take any more death threats from the sappers on my team. So honestly, it's consistent if you just let them get within like the 200. My team just died again on wave 1. Anyways, it's good if you let them get a bit closer, like medium range, 100 to 200 studs. Like if you can make out the little hole, if you can make out their face, then that's when you should shoot them, because you want to make sure that you can shoot them. So as long as they're about across like a courtyard from you, you're guaranteed to hit them with each shot. So honestly, I'd put it in a solid A tier. Better than the double-barreled pistol because, well,
Yeah,
does more damage, more
yeah.
penetration,
And unlike
more
double pistol,
distance,
it didn't
more
get nerfed into the
accuracy, and
ground.
also honorable mention, it didn't get nerfed 10,000 times.
Yeah.
I mean, the double barrel pistol and the horse artillery pistol is like fucking Larry the Lobster and the crumpled up worm in the wheelchair from that one retirement home episode.
Yeah. That's basically what it is.
Did
Honestly,
somebody say buff?
OG double barrel pistol
Buff.
was definitely a contender for one of the strongest weapons like in the game's
Oh
history.
yeah, obviously. I mean, it
Yeah,
was during that
it's
time
just
period, it was
so
the only
dumb.
double barrel weapon in the game, so
Yeah,
that was like the messiah.
yeah, exactly. Like it was just such an insane weapon to be able to like use. Like I got to use it after the first nerf, and it still felt insane to use. Like it was like, oh my god, this thing's so OP, bro. Like like even after the first nerf. So that just goes to show just how broken it must have been back when it wasn't nerfed, at all. You know. Yeah, anyway, I do think the horse artillery pistol is probably the weakest out of all the line infantry primaries. It's not because it's really its fault. It's just because like it's going up against some of the stiffest competition in the entire game. You know, Merc. I still think it's A tier though. I think its original price back when it was 2,800 francs. That was some bullshit price. That was Merc, like that's some outrageous shit.
Yeah,
That was
I can agree.
2,800. Like
I think it was only that because it was so strong.
yeah, and it wasn't even that strong. That's the thing. Like
That was just like the air rifle, but way earlier in the
yeah,
game.
exactly. All right, brass
Also,
pistol.
I'd like to point out a lot of people tend to talk crap about the carbine because it's like just use a double barrel pistol, just use the horse artillery. It reloads faster and has more accuracy and damage than both of them. So I mean, if you want to make a solid balance between killing zombies and killing bombers with good reload speed, carbine's good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why they complain about it
Yeah,
so
like
much.
stop complaining. Like it has the shove ability. Like the shove ability is literally it's one of the only weapons in the game that shits on viral runners. Because you can just shove them, and hitbox is so big, the chance of you getting them is really high. Before they jump on you.
Higher than Stupid Dog.
Yeah. Like, and you're saying, and once you stun them, you can literally just beat on them with your melee weapon until they're dead. Like it's basically a free win against any zombie type at close range except zappers and cuirassiers.
Yeah,
But like
you could get away with side swinging with the heavy saber if you just stun, swing, and you'll kill them eventually.
Yeah, exactly.
Although I wouldn't suggest it because you're gonna look like a dumbass doing that.
Wait. Can you stun cuirassiers with the shove on the
No.
carbine? Yeah, I was gonna say that'd be insane. That'd be stupid.
You can't stun it with the carbine shove, but I think you can do it with the carbine. I mean, not the carbine.
Yeah,
the pickaxe shove.
Yeah, because I think that stuns anything. Besides Headless Horseman. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, brass pistol.
Brass pistol. Hey, funny idea. Do you? Yes, you right there, the boy with the weird-looking face. Do you enjoy having a shotgun pistol? Do you want to have the Taurus Judge with the 410 shells without having to spend an entire mortgage on it? Introducing the brass pistol. It's great because it shoots everything in front of you instead of one thing. Isn't that nice? So basically, short distance, horrible accuracy, but if you barrel stuff them, you can one-shot all the zombies in the game. Except for the source.
Does that even count as zombie though?
Good question. I don't want to get into semantics. I got a tier list to do.
Yeah, that's true. I don't even know. He's a headless horseman. Like,
yeah.
Headless Horseman is like an astral entity of death at this point. He's like he only comes around in Halloween, so I don't even think we can count him as a zombie more or less. He's like Randy.
Yeah, I was about to get the same joke. He's like Randy. That's what I was about to say too. And he said he's like Randy. I whispered that.
See, you're comparing a mindless zombie to a member of ISIS that wears an orange hijab. He decapitates people.
Wow.
What the fuck is there to say?
Damn.
Anyways, I'm putting brass pistol in S tier. I mean, it's a shotgun pistol. It gives you great charge when you use it. Just don't be an idiot and try and snipe them at the back of the catacombs. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah, no.
I see people call it trash when they're shooting them from like across the map.
Yeah,
but when I show them how to use it at anywhere within like, I don't know, across 50 feet from them, it's like, wow, this is so good. How'd you know? It's because it's a shotgun pistol. You think it had the accuracy of the rifle?
Yeah, exactly. Because it's not like the Navy pistol or blunderbuss because it shoots nowhere near as many pellets. Like
it shoots 7 pellets compared to
the blunderbuss
is 15
and the Navy
pistol's 10.
I think it's 10.
And then the Knockgun 7, which I think
is the same. I think. But like the Knockgun actually has
they
really
have
good
the same
accuracy.
amount of pellets, but the
Knockgun has really good
slower,
accuracy.
but everything else is better.
Yeah. I think the only reason the Black Pistol's S tier is because it's on officer and he's in such a desperate need for a gun that's actually really good. and because if it was on any other class, like Merga, imagine the brass pistol was on seaman, like who would use that? Like I'd love to know. No one.
Honestly, nobody, because a Navy
Exactly.
pistol exists.
It's literally just the same thing but better. Like literally no one
Hey, do
would
you
use
want
it.
to waste as much time as humanly possible trying to figure out why can I not kill this guy and why does he get so close? Introducing, stop aiming at them when they're 30 years away.
I probably just use years as a measurement of distance because I just kept saying it just out of
To be
pocket.
fair, hold on. To be fair, though, there is a term called light years,
Yeah, like how
which is
long it
just
takes
distance that light travels. So if
Yeah.
they're like 30 light years away, your bullets wouldn't even be able to hit
Yeah,
them if
so
you shot them
what would
15
years be?
times over.
What would years be? How long it would take like a worm to get it somewhere? Yeah, I'd say so.
Good
That's what it's
question.
gonna be
I don't
now.
want to talk about that one.
That's what it's gonna be now. How long it would
Anyways,
take a worm to get somewhere? Um, yeah, brass pistol's S tier. Like it's just because it's on officer, and he just really needs a weapon like that, And it's the only gun that he has that actually gives good charge, Like it builds up the meter as long as you hit a good amount of zombies, of course, you know. Like it's just so much better than the other two that it's just like it's not even really comparable. Like you just really no point using the other two unless because you can't you don't have the thing because it's pretty decently expensive. It's not like it's dirt cheap. Unlike something like the hand axe. Sorry, Navy pistol.
yeah. Anyways, next weapon, please.
Navy pistol.
Navy pistol. Basically just a better brass pistol.
Yeah, that's
Although it
literally what it
has
is.
kind of sucky crowd control, it's good for whenever you're close quarters and you want something decently fast
Yeah,
because, well, number one, no one likes playing Pfeiffer anymore, despite it being actually pretty viable considering the meta with weapons now.
yeah,
And number two, uh, reload speed. I don't even think you need to ask me about this one.
yeah.
It's basically just a blunderbuss with erectile dysfunction.
Yep.
But
So
to be honest, I think it's decent. I mean, you gotta be a bit closer because it has even
yeah,
less accuracy than the brass pistol and less range. But you're
yeah,
in
but it
somewhere
has
like
more
Leipzig,
pellets.
that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No, it has less pellets than the blunderbuss.
No, I'm in brass pistol. I'm not compared to brass pistol.
Oh, yeah, it has more pellets than the brass pistol, but it reloads a bit slower.
Yeah. It also has more. It also has the same damage as the brass pistol, which is 35. So yeah, compared to the blunderbuss is 30, which can matter in some cases if only one pellet hits a zombie. And that zombie would have died or lived depending on if you had that 5 damage or not. Um, Overall, like it's probably the best close range gun, like just because the spread is so high with the damage and pellet count, you know.
Nah, I'd say it's still gonna be the brass pistol when it comes to that. Because if we're talking about sidearms, then the brass pistol reloads faster, but does.
Yeah, it's true.
Let me look.
But like when it comes to
It
like,
does the same damage and has like 3 less pellets,
yeah,
but it does more damage. I mean,
it has
not
the,
more damage.
yeah, it does the same damage. It has more.
Wait,
It has a
it
faster.
reloads slower. Never mind. It's the Navy pistol.
Yeah, I was gonna say like
Anyways,
Navy pistol is better in like
Navy
pretty
pistol
much
is A
every way.
tier because considering what class it's on, just stick with the blunderbuss at this point.
Yeah,
You get good crowd control to knocgun, but good reload speed of the musket. What's
yeah.
there to complain about?
Yeah, honestly though, let's just be real here. If brass pistol is on Seaman, this brass pistol would be F tier real quick. I'm just gonna tell you that because there's literally would be no point to ever use it. It'd literally just be a worse version of the grenade pistol.
Yep.
Spade,
Next weapon.
spade.
Okay, spade. So basically, spade does really bad damage and swings a bit slower. Does less headshot damage, but it's the longest range sapper weapon.
Yeah, by far
Has good
actually.
penetration and also has the ability to do thrust impact on zombies. So if they're mid attack on a barricade or they're touching the barricade, when you hit them with the downswing or upswing, they'll get stunned. Now, what you can do with it is a thing called entrench, where if you get it to where the barricade is at the very least standing, like it's no longer wood on the floor, and instead it's just a slightly disformed wall, you entrench it, repair it fully. It has 40 more HP, does more resistance to damage, and whenever you are having trouble with bombers, if they blow up one barricade and it's 2 barricades over, the one that's 2 barricades over that you entrench will survive, low HP albeit, but it will survive.
Yeah.
So having a spade and a bunch of barricades is like bread and butter because it allows you to handle a large input of bombers as long as you just have them not blow up like in the center of all your defenses, because that'd still be bad.
Yeah.
So albeit it does low damage, the spade makes St. Petersburg a lot easier because it makes it a little bit more easy to handle the sheer quantity of the bombers in that map. That and also, little known fact, if you entrench the barricade, instead of the cursor just rambling right through it while it's mid-charge, it'll just slam into it and slow down completely. So if you have someone with like a flintlock pistol or the brass pistol or any gun really, and they're hiding behind an entrenched barricade, all you gotta do is just have them wait there. Once the cursor hits the barricade, they can get the badge for shooting them with the flintlock, and boom, your barricade's alive, cursor is dead. You repair it, re-entrench, wait for it to happen again. Easy to use, has good utility. It's more defensive, but who cares at this point because the entire
It's
job of the
Sapper.
sapper is a defense, so it's perfect. So I put an A, I mean not A tier, S tier, because I don't care about low damage. It can one-shot
A
runners,
runner, and
and
that's all it needs to do.
it makes it. Yeah, if it can one-shot a runner, I'll tolerate it being
And also
good.
with Sapper,
Because I mean
it's
hold on,
needed.
that's like the one downside it has is its damage, but everything else on it's great.
When it comes to the
Basically,
spade,
no downsides.
yeah. Like here's the thing, like it's the best weapon that Sapper has for killing runners because of the range. Like it can get them
Yeah.
before they can even like really get you. Like
Oh, it
like it
also
just shits
attacks
on
faster
runners.
than the pickaxe when you
Yeah.
downswing. That's a little thing I forgot to mention.
Yeah, like it can really shit on runners. Like and Sapper can have a problem getting runners because his attack speed. Like if there's more than one, you're probably dead. Like if you're getting jumped by 2 runners and you don't have a barricade set up to like block them, you're probably gonna die. But with this thing, you might have a chance. You know. And like in like almost any team, like almost any map should have at least 2 sappers, basically at minimum. And it's really nice if one of those two would have this. It'd be really nice, convenient to have. Anyway, next, boarding axe. See, now this is what I use all the time. See, now it's really unfortunate. It's not that great, but sometimes to use weapons you really like. They just kind of have to really not be as great as you'd like them to be. Boarding axe is like B tier. Like, it's good, but like,
Used to be better.
yeah. Like if they just like what it is? It's because if it had literally 1 stud more range, or they made the flip side of it do like 3 more damage or 5 more damage, like enough to one shot a shambler, like a slightly stronger shambler than normal, it would be so much better. But like right now, it's so expensive to buy, and it's just like is good, but like it's just better, you know. Like it could really just use. Like honestly, I think the best thing for it is to probably just buff its range by 1 stud. But that's really it. Like I think it's B tier.
For me, the boarding axe, just use the hand axe. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Less range, sure, but it
it.
hits faster. It does more consistent damage and crowd control. It's like, don't even bother with the boarding axe. It's too gimmicky. It's like I'd rather do good crowd control and damage instead of having to pick and choose. I don't feel like doing all that. I just want to swing my weapon and kill whatever's bothering me.
Yeah.
Just use the hand axe at this point. In my
Yeah.
opinion, boarding axe, it's probably like a C tier. It's way, way too reliant on its flip side, and the flip side's not even that good. It does more damage, but if you whiff an attack and a shambler soaks up the hit, then whatever runner's coming towards you just gonna kill you anyways.
Yep.
But if you use the flip side, you'll one-shot the runner, but anything else that's there could just grab you when you whiff. So it's either you kill the runner and get mauled, or you kill the shambler and
Still
get
get
mauled by
mauled.
the runner.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a lose-lose situation if there's more than one zombie and a bunch of runners.
Yeah.
So if I'm gonna deal with that, I'd rather just spam the down swing or left and right swing with the hand axe to get everything I need. That less distance is not much to worry about if all
'Cause
you're
it's
doing
literally
is
almost
just
nothing.
kiting.
Yeah. Because like the less distance is what, like one stud, like a one. Well, what is the
No,
range
it's two.
difference? Oh, it's 2 studs.
Yeah, it's 2 studs, but honestly, it's not really that noticeable.
Yeah. Like that's why I'm saying the Boring 19 just 1 stud, because then it would be like an actual difference, you know. That would actually matter, you know, because they always find that it's just so close to having
Oh
that range that it would need.
my team just died before they even managed to get to that one part where they blow up the shed. You know where they died at?
Where? When?
They completely died while trying to get through that one cabin area right before you go down to that dirt slope to the shed.
Bruh.
Because one guy meleeed a bomber and killed like 3 teammates.
Is this on Roscoff?
Mind you, no, it's on San
Oh,
Sebastian.
San Sebastian? They died before
Really?
the first checkpoint? They died before the first respawn on
That's
San
ridiculous.
Sebastian!
That's
Okay, let me explain what happened. So what happened is they meleeed a bomber, killed 3 people that were right next to them. Then the other 2 people, while they were trying to recuperate after, you know, witnessing their entire team get killed by some random moron with a saber, they proceeded to go outside of the room where there was like 4 runners. One of them was on the left side, the rest of them were on that other side where they're like in the corner nearby the invisible wall, and they just got tackled at the same time. So
That is actually
they didn't even get to
insane.
light the fuse on the shed, they just died immediately.
That is actually
Anyways,
that is the worst San Sebastian I've ever seen or heard of. Because yeah, sure, I've seen people die to the board part. I died there like twice.
well, I mean, the board part's more common because usually it's like
because people don't grab
it's more
boards.
of
That's
like,
the most common death on the board part.
yeah, I personally like to call it the group effect because they expect everybody else to do it.
Yep.
So eventually, when too many people think that's like, wait, we're down a board.
Yeah.
Who didn't grab a board? I didn't grab a board.
I always grab boards. I've never not grabbed boards.
Yeah.
Because just because
The
why
only
not?
way to
Like,
fix-
yeah, exactly. But these other guys, they don't see that there's no point in not, so they just don't do it, or they just forget.
Literally, the best way to get through that is to just play officer.
Yeah. So you
Like,
can
I mean,
officer.
yeah, I can understand if you forget, but like,
But just not
willingly
grab.
don't do that.
Yeah. Then I'd be like, bro. Then that's when you're gonna get the side eye. You know, because like, just why?
Why?
Like literally. But I've never seen no one die before you blow up the shed. That's outrageous. Alright, anyway, Merc,
Yeah,
air
there's
rifle.
like barely any zombies.
Air rifle. 10,000 francs for something that literally runs out of ammo.
Yeah,
you
I
can
think
pop
it's
bombers with it, but the second that you run out of air canisters, what are you going to do about it? You're only going to have your
Nothing.
melee weapon. You can't pop bombers, and if there's no resupply things like there is in Roscoff, which that's the only map that has them, you can't get any more of your precious tar bottles. So I'm putting it in F tier. The only use it has is to pop like 20 bombers, but afterwards you can barely use the thing.
Yeah, I'm putting.
And mind you, I was in a group of people one time, and I shit you not, a guy said the cuirassier armor and the air rifle is the best combo ever. When you run out of ammo before your first canister even gets ran out.
Yeah, that's realistic. Honestly, yeah,
People
I think
stupid.
yeah. Like yeah, because
I'm putting it on F tier, and
Yeah,
it's
'cause-
not moving no matter what gets changed.
Why would you ever use Cuirassier armor with it? Because like that would literally make
Cuirassier armor
buying
makes
extra
melee
air
viable
canisters.
as hell, even more
Yeah.
viable.
Yeah, that would literally make buying extra air canisters, the entire gimmick of the gun, useless.
Useless.
Exactly. Literally, it's one good thing is that if you have literally infinite money, it actually becomes useful. But unless you have infinite money, it's useless. So basically,
What if
it's
you do have
either-
infinite money? How good is it?
Well, basically, you can basically just have like an infinite, like a gun that basically never needs to reload that you can spam.
No, it has to change
Okay.
the air canister, and that takes a while.
Yeah, every once in a while, but after like 20 shots. So that might as well
But
basically
the
be never
issue
need to
with that
reload.
unlimited money ain't gonna do much when you only have a singular canister to change per level. It's not like your character's gonna carry 100 air canisters.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Because
So
realistically,
whether
like, and you need to gain a profit for that. You're not gonna gain a profit of francs when you're using it.
Yeah, you're not. Well, I mean, honestly, like it's made for people that have like 100,000 francs, and at that point, they're not gonna run out. Like they're just not. Well,
they
like,
could buy a
like,
bunch of siege engineer armor since it's kind of worth it.
Yeah, that's true. Well, yeah, they do that literally all the time. They still don't run out. I'm like,
I mean, I have everything in the game, so I mean, I just keep spam buying engineer armor. I mean, I have 27 engineer armor so far.
Yeah, so basically, like, depending on like how much money you have, it's either F, D, or B tier. So like, yeah, and that's even if you can get your hands on it, because it costs 10K to even have. Like, yeah. But like at best, it's like B tier, and that's if you have one of those like what? How many people have like 100,000 francs or more? Well, like less than like 10,000 people, probably less than that, probably like less than 5,000, maybe even less than 1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Hey,
like,
how many weapons do we have left?
Not many, 3, and 2 of them aren't even technically weapons.
Musician stuff, I assume.
Nah, it's both the crucifixes.
Mage?
It's both the crucifixes. I can understand the exorcism one, but why the regular one? That one it doesn't do damage. Here, let me go over the regular crucifix. I use priest a lot, so I think it's S tier. It's like,
yeah.
Do I have to explain why?
S tier.
Like it's the best. It's the best ability in the game. Like it's literally just a get out of jail free card out of 99% of situations. It can make a Cuirassier stop his charge. It can make viral runners get off your dick. It can make literally an infinite amount of zombies quiver in fear for 15 seconds. The only zombie this does not stop
because they don't fear death.
Bombers are the only one that don't fear the wrath of God.
Yeah, Headless Horseman, but
That's true.
if that even counts.
Yeah, but his mute fighters he summons halfway through the fight, they do, and those guys are strong, so it's definitely worth using it on them. So like, this isn't it, and it recharges passively. You don't even have to do anything. Like this thing can, and also like it's so good at saving your teammates because you don't have to walk up and hit them with the snake. You can just use that when you're near them, and the zombies will just stop molesting them. And I'm like, oh, Jesus, like easy S tier. Actually, some crucifix. No Murky there.
Yeah.
Exorcism crucifix now.
C tier. It's literally just normal crucifix, but instead of stunning, it just does some damage. I don't need to explain it.
Yeah.
Does it do enough?
No, not really.
I mean, it can kill a large amount of zombies,
Yeah.
but it needs to actually have time to do damage ramp up before it actually does good damage.
Yeah. They can still walk. Yeah, remember, like, sure, it makes them walk slower, but they can still run up on you. So if you're in a corner, you're probably gonna die. And
yeah, because I'd like to point out, runners can still
teammates.
tackle your ass.
Yeah, and it's not good at saving teammates. And you have to rebuild the charge on it. Yeah, sure, it has a shorter cooldown technically, but you have to actively do stuff like bless, mercy, attack enemies to actually do the cooldown instead of waiting like regular crucifix. So downtime does not help this thing. And downtime is literally the best thing about Priest, because on a lot of objective maps and on this, you'll get downtime, which can just give time for your crucifix to recharge. Not with this thing. Not with this thing. And like, it also costs a lot of francs, and only lasts for 8 seconds. Like,
Instead of 15.
Yeah, and it needs some substantial changes for it could be, because I think both of them should be S tier, like realistically, but like, yeah, it needs some buffs for it will actually be like anywhere close to
We should do
this
the
thing.
musicians' weapons as well, though.
Yeah, that's true. Like here, like I will here. I won't like I can't add them into tiers, but we'll just like imagine they exist. Like we'll use Baki.
I'll
We'll
just
do
spitball
Baki.
my opinions so we can go through them
Yeah.
faster.
Anyway, there is one
Fife,
more weapon.
A
Wait,
tier. It's good for whenever. It's just gonna be a real quick segment. Don't worry.
Okay.
Fife, A tier. Good for whenever people are using slower weapons that do high damage. Because I mean, who's gonna complain at the end if you're reloading faster? I mean, it's always nice to have a loaded gun. Drum, S tier. Makes your main weapon, which is your melee swing way faster. Pairs really well with something like the lance or the pickaxe, sapper axe, stuff like that. Bugle, S tier, but it requires on your teammate to not be a moron that auto cancels it, because they didn't want to look at the patch notes for the new update and they have to get screamed at for half an hour to realize, wait, damn it, I have to play the full song now or else I just won't be able to do the buff. So, yeah. Anyways, what's the last weapon?
Spawn-Tune.
Spawn-Tune. My opinion, I give it probably an A, because it's required that your teammates actually understand how to use it. That, and when they do eventually understand how to use it, it's good. But it's really only good for parts like the burning part of Leipzig, where you just camp at the graveyard and loop hold fast with each other. You'll one-shot everything. The defense part of Leipzig, basically anything with a tight choke point. It's even better in Lahe Saint's top part of the barn.
Yep.
So if you can make that useful, then go for it. But it pairs really well with Cuirassier armor. With Cuirassier armor, it's S tier. On its own, A tier.
Yeah.
My opinion, at
It's
least.
basically just a better saber. So for officer, with the officer class, it's better than the saber in terms of base stats, but I think its ability's worse. Because that officer charge, ooh, that can clutch games. Like games can be won or lost based on a single officer charge getting used. Yeah. Anyway, that's the tier list. Yeah, there's a lot of weapons in A and S tier. Like a lot. But like, yeah, that just goes to show just how like not too far off in power level a lot of the weapons are from each other. Merc. Like that goes to show that they do a good job when it comes to balancing. Because usually, like, there'd be like so many more things down in lower tiers. But here's the thing: it's crazy because the only F tier, like, it's really definitive F tier, is the meat. But that's not
S tier, because you get to slap zombies with your meat.
Yeah, that's true. It's definitely S tier in memes. But like, also, yeah, at one point in time, this thing was actually better than the steak. Just because of that, just because of the extra range. Just because it actually has a surprising amount of range.
I'd also like to point out, I'm pretty sure someone's actually managed to solo Leipzig using delicious meat.
Yeah, I saw that video. Yeah, they did. Yeah, that was before it got nerfed. So yeah.
Yeah, they nerfed my meat.
Why did they nerf it?
Because people were because it was better than the steak, basically. Like it was kind of like it was equal to, if not better, and they did not like that. And they're like, that's disgusting, but you're not supposed. That's because they really, one, they didn't want it to actually be viable, and two, they did not want to give the priest a better weapon. So yeah, they decided to throw it in the trash. Yeah. Honestly, like this game really only needs a couple balance changes, and a lot more with weapons could be useful. I think the first things they should buff are probably. I mean, they're gonna buff the rifle, so like, you don't need to worry about that. Exorcism crucifix, definitely. I think that needs a buff.
Pickaxe.
It's fine enough. There's other weapons need to be changed. The air rifle doesn't need to get changed right now because there's barely anyone who even has it. So like that wouldn't even affect very many people. I think boarding axe and exorcism crucifix should get buffed. Literally,
Yeah.
I've already said it with the boarding axe. Just literally one stud more range. Exorcism crucifix. Just literally make it easier to charge it up and make it slow them down more. And it would be so much better. Like. Yeah, but other than that,
You know what I want? The
I think it's
delicious
good.
leg mark too.
You need to survive like Copenhagen hardcore in one life and you'll unlock it, and it's like actually decent.
The delicious meat needs to be where after you've smacked a certain amount of zombies with it, it'll just be the femur and
golden
it'll
skin.
actually do enough damage.
Yeah,
You
we'll
unlock
have
the
to
golden
add it.
version.
The golden version.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks for watching the tier list. If it's ending, if not, then I'll let Killer say his dues. But I'm really only here for the opinions on the weapons.
Yeah.
He's the one that's going to talk about the buffing.
Yeah. Anyway, like what I think about the boarding axe, like just one extra stud. I already said a crucifix. They're already planning on buffing the rifle. Stake. They already said hard and true. They're never gonna buff it, and that they're never gonna give a priest another weapon that's better than it. They might give priest another weapon, like that's equal to, if not a little worse than the stake. They probably won't. Maybe down the line, because the game is still, a lot of development's gonna get done.
You know what the priest wouldn't be too far off having?
What?
Now, hear me out on this. Maybe,
Candlestick.
maybe a cane. Now,
Hmm.
hear me out on this before you laugh. A lot of the times, priests tended to have canes
Yeah.
not only for their own uses like worship, but also because usually priests were higher up in age, so their bodies have withered and they'll need a cane to stay upright for a long time. My idea is it can be 5 stud reach, 30 damage, swings a little slow, has no penetration. It's decently balanced. The only thing it really does is just one-shot runners and does decent damage, but it doesn't have a headshot multiplier. So whenever you headshot a zombie, it'll just make a thunk noise, and then you just have to hit them until they die. But I'd say that's pretty fair. I mean, all you gotta do is just, like, pay, 600 francs, and you'll be able to one-shot a runner?
Yeah.
Not that much, but that can be changed.
Yeah, but there's
you know.
definitely some advantages the stake would have over that. Like a really fast swing speed.
Yeah, that, and also when you use the cane, it doesn't do the puncture thing where you passively gain divinity or whatever
Oh yeah.
after you hit a zombie, and doesn't make them do less infection. Well, that's really all the opinions I have. What about you?
Buff the barrel pistol. Like they did
Look at how they
so
massacred
much.
my boy.
Yeah, exactly. They bro, come on, man. It's crazy because a lot of weapons that I like using, a lot, aren't the best. Because it's crazy because the only weapon that I regularly use that's S tier, basically, well, besides crucifix,
Musket.
lance. I don't use the musket that much. Lance and brass pistol, but I don't use the brass pistol because it's the best one. But if the bro pistol was as good, I'd use it any day of the week over brass pistol. Because all the other shit I like using a lot is A tier or lower. I use boarding axe, I use rifle, I like using that. I like using what else? I like using the barrel pistol, but I don't anymore because how not good it is. A lot of weapons I like just aren't that great. I like the stake, but it's not good. act, it's pretty shit. It's shit on purpose. You know what? And that's admirable. Like the heavy saber, but they just killed them. Probably. They probably just killed its viability. So yeah, it's unfortunate. Anyway, goodbye, guys.